So, moving along, we need a motion to accept the item I, the motion to accept the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report. And a motion, Connie, and a second, Justin. And can I have a show of hands, please, to accept the HIV report? That is unanimous. Next, we're to item J, the board committee reports. And we start out with, actually, we start with our student representatives. So if you guys would like to go first, and I know you've got a really exciting presentation to talk about, so.
Few things.
Yeah, a few things, right? So off you go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today, we'd like to take some time to discuss the Stanford Challenge Success Survey that was administered at Princeton High School last December.
So, of the 1,589 students that were in school on the day of the survey, 1,417 students answered most or all of the questions to the best of their ability, giving us an effective participation rate of 89%, which is significantly higher than the targeted 70%.
And students reported an average of 3 hours of homework per night on weekdays. This number was consistent with the one that we found in October survey with 195 students. Interestingly enough, when we looked at the breakdown between grades, we noticed that there weren't many differences across grade levels and that homework levels remained relatively constant across all of the grades. And the schools that did take the Challenge Success Survey had an average homework range that fell between 2 and 2.5 hours per night. So we do see PHS resting slightly above the majority of other schools.
The data also revealed that across grades, average nightly hours of sleep on school days centered at about 6.25 hours. This value is actually slightly higher than the average 6.6 hours of sleep from data we gathered in a survey of 290 students last September. As compared to school districts with similar demographics and AP course load, anywhere in the range of 6.5 hours is relatively consistent. Therefore, this is not unique to Princeton High School, but rather falls in line with a nationwide phenomenon of decreasing amounts of sleep among high schoolers. Based on current research, the National Sleep Foundation recommends about 9 hours of sleep per night for teenagers to promote both healthy mental development and physical well-being. Since Princeton High School falls significantly below the target amount, we hope that the district can generate productive discussions around the topic.
So 2 Fridays ago, Assistant Principal Baxter actually presented the data from the Challenge Success Survey to the teachers at Princeton High School during an in-session day. And she found that they were very eager to understand the statistics and the implications of the conclusions drawn within the report. Discussions quickly surfaced around the room as teachers began conversing about academic workload and stress, generating ideas that they felt would be helpful to student success at Princeton High School. Perhaps this kind of passion and enthusiasm explains why 3.75 out of 5 students at Princeton High School feel that they are supported by their teachers.
Yay. Okay. In the following weeks, the administration will gradually and appropriately release the results of the survey. This is to give our teachers time to generate ideas to respond to the results of the survey. We look forward to seeing what they come up with to better the lives of our students.
And we would like to strongly applaud the administration for taking these issues seriously and making an effort to incorporate student voice. However, we would also like to stress that without continued focus, this survey is just that, a survey. Data gives us the ability to understand a situation, but it cannot fix the problems that are underlying. Those solutions need to come from all of us.
It is vital that changes in Princeton come by means of multilateral cooperation. They cannot simply be from one source, without thorough consideration and discussion. There are so many students and teachers that are coming up with innovative ways to make our district a pioneer in successful education, but they are not always heard.
And we really do need increased collaboration so that everyone can feel invested in our progress and proud of the things that we do. We each have a stake in the success of our children, our classmates, our students. Change cannot come soon enough, but it must be accompanied by the communication that helps it last.
We hope to create a committee of students, teachers, counselors, and parents alike to ensure change comes from a multitude of perspectives and incorporates opinions of those most affected by the results of the survey. It is critical that all opinions are taken seriously and change comes of this. We hope this can happen as soon as possible to address and solve as many concerns as the survey raised. We are both excited to help brainstorm solutions as well as listen to those proposed by our peers in administration. Thank you.
Thank you both very much. And just to follow up, the Student Achievement Committee of the board will be getting the same presentation that the faculty received and that Brian and Abby and I got from Ms. Baxter on Friday. So that'll be the next Student Achievement Committee on the 24th. And the categories that the survey measured, you talked about homework and sleep. I think engagement, how many students are fully engaged in their learning. Stress was one, mental health, and then there was a category that sort of looked at possible changes to reduce stress and increase engagement. And so there were some of those strategies that students weighed in on, and those two will be shared and fed back then to the faculty as they make some decisions about how to move forward. Okay.
I've got a question for y'all, and it's actually Dr. Carell's statement, the folks that were speaking earlier, and then what y'all said. And I think about the brain that they showed, and I think of Dr. Carell saying, you know, can they put down their cell phones effectively? And I think of what I see at my own house. And I wonder if you did a study where you said, okay, 2 weeks, we're going to see how much sleep you get, how much studying you do, and then the next 2 weeks, you have to put your cell phone in the kitchen. And then you do your homework. And then they measure how much sleep they get and how much studying they do. And I wonder what those results would be like, and I don't know if you guys want to add that to your tasks.
I think Dr. Carell would very much appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, when the full results when the rest of the data eventually does come out, you will be able to see some of the statistics associated with electronic usage.
Yep.
And there is data that is showing that increasingly students are attached to technology and using technology potentially while doing their homework. But that's also not something that's unique to Princeton High
Correct.
School,
Right.
nor is it unique to students, as I'm sure many of you guys engage in multiple tasks at once at this point.
It's part of our executive functioning.
That is
as they
something
say.
that we will need, that is something we should take a look at. And the validity of an experiment, I'm uncertain because I highly doubt students are willing to part from their technology. But yeah, that is something that should be looked at.
Yeah.
Maybe for the pursuit of science, they'd be willing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Brian and Abby. And next.